Yeah, I think.
We had a clip do 2.6 million views.
Yeah, dude, and it's at like 2.7 now
Where, on TikTok or Instagram?
on Instagram.
Which
Fuck yeah.
one?
One of the clips from CM Punk and the mixed tag team match.
Shit.
Yeah, it's almost at 3 million, and it's just from last night, and it's now our most viewed clip on the Instagram.
Hold on. Is that where he's got her in the sharpshooter?
Yeah, I pinned it to the
I
first clip.
I see that. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. Good shit.
Yeah, man. It's been a great fucking weekend for as far as like our content. Because I also did like we AEW stuff and Wrestlepalooza stuff, and yeah, man, it's been doing great numbers for us. So I'm
Good.
really happy about that.
Didn't get as good a numbers as I was hoping on the Raja Jackson arrest story, but it still generated pretty decent. That was a collaboration with the main channel as well. So that was his arrest story did.
I feel like some people are probably getting over that story now, you know.
They are getting over it. The WWE ESPN deal for us did 56.4. And let's see. Where was the original announcement of that arrest? Oh, here it is. It did 118,000. So still good. Not as much exposure as we hoped, but again, can't win them all. It's been several weeks since we had an update, but it was still fresh enough to do some numbers, which is good. Other than that, downloads have been really good, it looks like, lately. Again, guys, you know, in the sound of my voice, you know, Snug Wrestling, we're in the top 100 and the top 250 podcasts in the country for professional wrestling. Your boys have gone up and down that list for the last couple months, but we have stayed in the top 75, the top 50, and the top 20 consistently. This is where you get your wrestling content.
Yeah, I checked today, and we're at number 46 today, so that's not bad.
Not bad at all, considering a couple days ago, your boys were literally sitting 2 spots away from passing Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho at number 15.
Yeah, and just this morning, I checked our Facebook, and we went from like 37,000 to like 40,000 followers on Facebook just overnight today.
Yeah.
So that's fucking awesome too.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, dude. So it's been great. Overall, it's been a great weekend. Tommy, we kind of hung out a little bit last night and talked. We did like a little sneak preview of our review. We just did like quick star ratings, so you guys can check out that episode now. But how was your weekend, Blood?
Great. Me, my wife, my best friend, all went out for drinks last night. Bar hopped a little bit. It was nice. Had some good drink, a couple of Moscow Mules, a Carib, which is one of my favorite beers. It's a pineapple beer. Had this really good beer. If you never had it, you ever get a chance, you're at a bar and try it. It's called Azul. It's a craft beer. It's literally a beer that tastes exactly like peanut butter and strawberry jelly, and it smells fantastic and tastes incredible. And then we had a nice live music band last night. So we were, you know, I'm at that age now. I'm at the age our parents were, where when we were kids, you remember like when you were kids, your parents would take you out to some outside, you know, bar and grill, and there'd be a live band. You're like, why are all the old people dancing and excited and enjoying this music that's old as hell and I've never heard of before? And then now we're that age. That was us last night. There's a bunch of young pups in their early 20s and shit sitting there watching all of us in our 30s and 40s is getting down to freaking them playing Dream On by Aerosmith and Billie Jean, and we're all singing and dancing and jumping in the circle. And I'm like, I have become my parents.
Yeah, it's like that Allstate commercial. Like...
Yes, but I was like, man, now I see it, because I'm like, you know, my childhood is gone, and now like all the shit that I loved and all the music I love, because he's playing like Black Eyed Peas, and this cover band is really great. I'm like, God, when did I turn into my parents? But this is what it's like to be in your 30s, in your 40s and 50s, sitting outside on a Saturday night, sweating your balls off while you're shaking drinks and listening to a live band you never heard of before play music from when you were a kid. You know, so like,
we went out on Friday. That's why I couldn't do the SmackDown review. It's not like we missed much anyway, from what I understood.
It really didn't.
Yeah, so we went out to a bar because it was like a Twilight theme bar. My wife really loves Twilight.
I
So
can't hate on it. I own all the books.
Oh, for real?
I actually, I'm not gonna lie, Mr. Blood, gonna full confession here, just to protect the honor of Mr. Snug's wife.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Twilight fan. I love the books. I love them to
Yeah.
death. The books are much better than the movies. But when I was in high school and middle school, when those movies started coming out, I remember seeing the first Twilight in Virginia during Thanksgiving weekend in 2008 on a theater in a mall that was on the 3rd floor. I'd never been in a theater that big before with my sister Kim. I loved it, and Kristen Stewart has been my favorite actress my entire life, and not just because like Twilight's one thing, but her other works like that she should have been nominated for Academy Awards and stuff for. But like that's what set me on that path. But I've always appreciated and enjoyed the Twilight movies for being a piece in their moment in time.
Yeah.
I personally enjoy them, so I can't hate.
No, yeah, I'm sure she's gonna love to hear that. Mr. Blood
The
being a
only
huge Twilight
thing
fan.
I've seen of the Twilight franchise is the very cringy clips, but
I mean,
it's
honestly,
like the whole, you nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness monster, like that whole scene.
To be fair, that line is in the book, so it's not like they could have just made that better. I mean, look, not everybody, you don't hit everything 100% of the park. And if I look back at a lot of the franchises I love, like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and like Star Wars, there's cringe in all of them at certain points, things that just don't age well. But, look, they're products of their time, and I think they're great movie experiences if you've never seen them before, whether you like bad film watching for kicks or you just want to try something new and you think maybe this is something that you could get into. I recommend it. Try it at least once.
No, and that bar was packed, bro. Like there were so many fucking Twilight fans, and my wife watches all of them at least once a year, and she's made me watch them with her too. So I get it, but
there are things about those movies that are actually really well done. Like the cinematography is incredible. The way that they actually frame their shots and the way that they actually like do their color grading for especially Twilight New Moon. I was obsessed with the color grading when I was getting into filmmaking when I was in high school. The way that they did the underwater scenes, those muted tones, some things they do exceptionally well, even though they're cringy. They still made very, very successful movies, and you can't take that away from them. So I mean,
yeah. So Friday, I wanted to go out and do something for her, because on Saturday, I told her, I was like, I'm going to be watching wrestling all fucking day. And it literally was from like 11 a.m. to what time was Wrestlepalooza over? I don't even remember, Tommy. Do you remember?
It was done around like 9 Central.
Okay, so 7 p.m.
would have been around 10 o'clock my time then.
7 p.m. my time. So from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., I was sitting down watching wrestling all fucking day.
Yeah, brother, you need a drink at that point. Like,
I was drinking the entire time.
I know, because I remember speaking to you on the phone earlier in the day, because I straight up told Snug, I was like, look, I don't know how I feel about this WWE ESPN deal. I'm just going to spill the beans here. I was like, I genuinely, I don't agree with it. I don't like that I got to pay $13 on top of my $17 I already paid a Disney Plus. And I don't use Hulu. I actually hate Hulu. I never liked it when I had it. I only had it during COVID so I could rewatch all of Smallville. And other than that, there's never been a point for me to keep it. So I'm like, I would pay $30 a month to only touch Disney Plus whenever something comes on Marvel, which is every few months. And then, and judging by the way this PLE went, the $30 price point, I'm going to be honest with you guys, because I wound up catching all the stuff up today when I actually sat down and saw the matches. That $30 price point, if this is how you're kicking off that ESPN deal, y'all might want to renegotiate that price, because no one is going to pay $30 a month if that is what you fucking give them and you tout it as a WrestleMania caliber event.
Yeah, like I messaged in our chat during the pre-show, the countdown show, along with the post-show as well, there were so many people saying either you sold out or we want Vince. It
Like,
was insane to look at the comments of it.
I mean, it's also damning. I've been covering this on our podcast and for Blood Drop episodes. If you're a fan of the Blood Drop episodes and you don't know or you haven't seen them, go to our Apple and Spotify. I'm basically the lead analyst for Snug Wrestling, so I do a lot of breakdown and reporting. When it comes to it, I've been covering this WWE ESPN deal since it was announced, and because of what's going on specifically with the Jimmy Fallon situation, in which he has been suspended because of ABC and comments made about Charlie Kirk, all this other political shit I'm not getting into. But as far as it's concerned, ABC is owned by Disney, as is Hulu, as is ESPN, and Disney Plus, obviously. And the whole hashtag very largely trending cancel Disney shit this weekend was not a good thing for Disney, nor WWE, nor ESPN, because for those you don't know, when WWE entered into this deal with ESPN, this deal was not just with ESPN, this deal was with Disney, because they own ESPN. So a massive problem here. In the last 24 hours, Disney projected they were going to lose profit here of over $3 billion within this next quarter because hundreds of thousands of people joined the boycott and started uninstalling and deactivating all of their Disney-owned accounts. Disney Plus, Hulu, anything ABC affiliated, and yes, ESPN.
Yeah, I was lucky enough that because my wife has a bundle already with the Disney, Hulu, and ESPN bundle that comes with because we have AT&T, like our phones and internet are all AT&T, so we get that bundle already, right? But I still had to upgrade in order to unlock the WWE PLE.
How much more did you have to upgrade?
$5.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
It was better than $30, but
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that bundle ahead of time, all that shit wasn't packaged in. Was that show last night one that you would have willingly forked over $30 to a streaming platform to see?
No.
I would, yeah.
Then you might be one of the people in the minority that were high on that show last night, I'm assuming, because from all the online discourse I've been sifting through today for a couple hours worth of shit, that card was like, it was.
Well, hold on though. You didn't let me finish though.
I'd say about 70% of the fan base hated that show last night.
Yeah, they did, and I enjoyed most of it. It wasn't the perfect PLE top to bottom. There are some things that I didn't like, but I would willingly dish out $30 to watch it, mainly for the clips and the content we just talked about.
Well,
one of our
I mean, when I say that, I mean if we were not professional wrestling podcasters as a job, if this wasn't our job and we didn't have to pay for this shit to see it, would you do it?
No.
Exactly. So, and I understand how, what's the term I'm looking for? Polarizing that can be, considering you and I go back to the days where I was forking over $59.99 to $69.99 for a pay-per-view once a month back when I started watching wrestling on the regular. It was all my allowance money. It was begging my mom, how many extra fucking chores can I do to get you to pay for this for me for this month? You know, hey mom, WrestleMania's coming up. Well, if your interim's great and you get great on the FCAT, or Florida standardized testing now, and this and that, then I'll make sure I buy WrestleMania. Oh, and I'd save up all my money because I worked for 3 years as a face painter, Beef O'Brady. So even if I got in trouble with her, I'd still be like, well, I still got the money. Here's WrestleMania money. Give it to her, put it on her credit card, buys a pay-per-view. That's what it used to be. But then we got spoiled by this $9.99. That, I don't know if you remember this back in the day when they first started touting it. Well, do you remember when they first started touting the network? For over a year straight, Michael Cole, till our ears fucking bled, would tout this shit as many times as he could a show. Like, get the WWE Network only $9.99. The WWE Network like every show, like 30 times a show for over a year. So did I. And I loved the network. The network was the best version of their library they'd ever done. Because it was $9.99. You got all wrestling history. You could get shows roughly up to like a month before the current live aired shows, but go all the way back to the very first ever episode of Monday Night Raw in 1991 or 2. Okay, like you had everything you could want: documentaries, podcasts, all that shit was on there. for
Yeah.
$10.
Mhm.
And then we go through the years, and how did we go from that to the
Mhm.
library is left on Peacock? Saturday night's main event will remain on Peacock until 2027. You still need cable if you plan on watching NXT and SmackDown live. Oh, hey, don't forget, we still have like Speed or 205, whatever the fuck it is, on YouTube. Then let's talk about the fact that, hey, we have ESPN for PLEs. We have Netflix for Monday Night Raw, and only Raw has Netflix in the States. But if you're international, all the fucking libraries, all on Netflix for everybody. But
It's
here's
that TKO thing, dude.
it's
TKO.
bullshit. It's
Yeah.
absolute horseshit. Why is your largest market, the US market, the ones getting fucked the most? I'll tell you why. It's because our dollar is more valuable than most of those other countries that have it. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, they know that the US market is so enthralled and ingrained in pop culture with wrestling that they know that the majority of fans will choke down their pride and pay for it anyway, no matter how much they kick, scream, and bitch and moan. So that's why they go, well, we know you'll pay to watch us on broadcast network television for SmackDown NXT. We know you'll keep your Peacock so you can watch WWE documentaries and Stone Cold podcasts and these new specials. And you want to have the backlog of shit so you can show your friends and get them into it. And we know you'll pay for Netflix to watch Raw because you already have Netflix to watch all this other shit. And we know that you'll pay for ESPN to watch PLEs like Survivor Series coming up and John Cena's last match on Saturday night's main event, which will be on Peacock, hilariously enough. And we know that you'll pay to watch Mania and the Rumble and all that. And they literally know we'll do it. So they're just looking us in the face, spitting in our eyes and going, you like that? Tell me you like that.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because I also read an article either yesterday or the day before yesterday that I think it's Netflix is also bidding to purchase I think it's like the WB or something like that, which means
yes. Yeah.
You
so
know,
they had
what's
like
going to happen with AEW?
So here's the thing with WB. So WB obviously is HBO Max. As far as that's Warner Brothers. They own HBO Max. A couple of years ago, originally when Max was trying to figure out their libraries and shit, they actually for a while, for about a year, had loaned all of their Warner Brothers library to Netflix. So you could simultaneously watch everything that Warner Brothers had. So all the DC stuff, all like their special HBO Max crap, everything superhero, you could watch on Netflix and HBO at the exact same time. And there was something in the air about a merger then, but nothing ever came to it. Then they pulled back when their agreement ended. So now if they buy them, I think if Netflix does attempt to put in a bid for HBO, it'll be a power move so that they can take it over and then subsequently drop them from Max or HBO. So there's no competition on streaming for WWE, at least on a major provider. Because then there's the AEW going to have to run to another streaming platform that can pay them the amount they need for streaming rights. And we already know they can't go to Peacock because WWE still got an agreement with them. They won't go to ESPN because ESPN's got an agreement with WWE. And they know that they're not going to go to Hulu because Hulu's also owned by Disney, which is in conjunction with WWE. So this is a move for WWE and Netflix. Remember, 5-year, $5 billion deal to try to freeze fucking AEW out as much as possible. And what way to better to hit them where it fucking hurts than the streaming rights?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane, man. Yeah, it's a crazy time that we're living in, dude, when it comes to all this shit, man. And now it turns out like my plan was to, okay, I'll do the upgrade for this ESPN thing and then I'll cancel it because I don't have to see, they're not going to have any PLEs until next year. But it turns out that they're going to keep doing PLEs on ESPN starting now, right?
Like, yeah, a lot of people had that confusion, and I'm sure we'll get a little more clarification on it. But from all the reports I read, all the reports I covered, the original agreement was that they were going to do a tester of this PLE of last night's Wrestlepalooza on ESPN as a one-off for the year to test it and be a flagship massive event for the platform, to basically be like, hey, this is the wine bottle breaking on the ship sort of thing. Then they weren't going to start their events till spring of next year, like February was going to be when their actual agreement with Peacock to end PLEs ended, was like February or March. Then after they made that announcement for Wrestlepalooza, 2 weeks later, they scramble to get out of their PLE agreement with Peacock. They agree to keep Saturday night's main event on until 2027. and they'll hold on to the library, but they want to get out of this deal as quick as possible and start their agreement with ESPN fast as fuck. And because they rushed it, they did not think about the broadcasting rights, which is why everybody and their grandmother had so much trouble watching this show last night. Well over 25 million people who had access to ESPN, but not the direct-to-consumer streaming because they did not have broadcasting rights through Comcast, through Sling, through YouTube TV, and so many others. Hence what all this problem was, all this confusion, all this aggravation people had. And then you throw in this boycott. That's also bad on top of that. The exact same fucking weekend, by the way, this boycott starts. It's just a disaster made in absolute fucking hell. So then now so apparently the conclusive final reported, now again, maybe this changes later, but these are the reports that came through corroborated sources. PW Insider, Mike Johnson. We're talking, that guy almost never misses. Apparently, Clash in Paris was the last PLE of the Peacock deal for PLEs, not Saturday night's main event and not the library. And ESPN and WWE have already announced they have no current plans at this point in time or in the foreseeable future to port the library over to ESPN's direct-to-consumer app. So now, if you want that access, again, you will still have to pay for Peacock as well to keep seeing Saturday night's main event. And here's the bullshit part. You want to watch John Cena's last match, December 13th. Saturday night's main event is his last match. Your ass still has to have Peacock to see him get a proper send-off live.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Wrestlepalooza, fellas. It's time for the review. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. My name is Edgar. I am your host, and Mr. Blood is here, and Tommy is here, and we're going to go over Wrestlepalooza, the first PLE on ESPN. Fellas, how did you guys feel about this Wrestlepalooza? Did this feel any different to you guys as this being the first Wrestlepalooza on ESPN? Did it have like a different, more serious sports feel to this? What did you guys think about the presentation? Was there anything different that felt different for you guys for this PLE?
Three things. One, it felt like a more important house show, like Saturday night's main event. Did not feel like this massive card they had touted. Did not feel like a WrestleMania caliber event like they had overhyped for fucking ages. Two, even more obnoxious branding than we had before. And three, the crowd sucked, because the problem is that those ticket prices were so motherfucking high that the real diehard fans were priced out. And these were fans of ESPN. These were fans of sports. These were fans who had money, who lived in the area, or some people who had money who flew to it. But that crowd was 50-50 at best last night. 50% of real diehard fans, people who really love professional wrestling and WWE, and the other half were casuals who needed something to do, or like, well, I've never been to a live, because that audience sucked last night. The best match of the night last night, which we'll get into, Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicaire, was clearly the best in-ring worked match of the night, the most solidly wrestled match, went about 20 plus minutes, 22 minutes, and the audience could not decide if they loved it or didn't care about it. And that right there was the eye-opener to me. So those are my thoughts. This, for me, if I was rating this show from the top to bottom here, I'm just going to give my rating before we get into this. 1 to 10, this motherfucker was a 6.5.
Yeah, it honestly didn't feel very well at all. Half of it felt like, hey, you want us to build this? No, we're not building it. There will be no builds. Like, that's how bad this show actually was, is the fact that it felt like there was no build to half of these goddamn matches. And that is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, man. There's been a lot of fan negative reactions from the fans after this PLE, because like Mr. Blood said, it was advertised like a WrestleMania equivalent, type card for Wrestlepalooza, all these major stars, and the first time on ESPN, we were predicting all kinds of stuff was going to happen. Roman Reigns has to come back, and all these great things are going to happen. Triple H was even like, "Oh man, be ready for lots of surprises coming." And you know, I'm not, like I mentioned before, I didn't hate this show. I enjoyed lots of parts of it. But I guess for the first time being on ESPN, I was expecting a little bit more.
I 100% agree. And as far as all the surprises that came last night, I'm pretty sure he just meant the one where he had Undertaker announce his wife Stephanie McMahon's induction. Well deserved, by the way. Love Steph. This is great for her. Trust me, I want Stephanie in the Hall of Fame. I love her, and I love her podcast. It's amazing. I listen to while I play video games sometimes. She's so great. Definitely check out her podcast. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, that's the only surprise that happened last night. Nearly everything that we predicted happened. I mean, that right there tells you everything. I said this before. This is going to be an extremely predictable show. Which is why it probably felt so lackluster in that regard, because nothing felt surprising that we were touted. Nothing felt out of left field like we thought. Hell, I even fucking predicted that we would have the man-on-woman interaction in the mixed tag. Even that still happened. Like nothing, nothing of note that was extremely important happened. The only shock surprise is the match we're about to talk about here in a second, Lesnar and Cena. But even that's not a surprise. It's just a fucking letdown.
Dude, when I saw that fucking match, how it ended, I was like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? All right, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. First of all, John Cena comes out with all the little kids, and I thought, oh, what a great moment. This is going to be one of his final entrances that we're going to see with John Cena. And I'm like, oh, good on John Cena making all these little white kids happy.
All he did was bring out witnesses to the massacre. He's like, I'm going to need all y'all to sign affidavits that you were here for this half mercy assassination, because I'm about to get my ass kicked and you kids are going to cry in about 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of kids crying in the crowd as well, which I thought was great. Brock Lesnar, never disappoints, making babies cry and shit.
John Cena made these poor kids accessories after the fact. He made these poor kids witnesses. He's like, you're going to come out here and you'll learn a lesson about life. And this is what happens when you pick on someone bigger and stronger than you without a game plan. I'm about to show you a life lesson. And then he probably crawled out to the ring afterwards like, see, you get your ass kicked, kids.
But you get back up and you keep on fighting. Never
Mr.
give
Cena,
up.
you're bleeding. I know.
Yeah, dude.
Mr. Cena, why are you bleeding? I messed with the wrong person, and now I can't breathe anymore.
Yeah, poor Cena. Paul Heyman came out unexpectedly to give, Brock Lesnar his introduction. But we've seen on Friday Night SmackDown, Brock Lesnar had a little encounter with Paul Heyman backstage. And now we're seeing Paul Heyman introducing Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar wins his match versus John Cena, because that was one of the predictions that I had. I'm like, for sure, John Cena has to beat Lesnar because it's his farewell tour. John Cena already lost to Cody a while back, a few weeks ago. There's no way he's going to lose again on his farewell tour. And plus, Brock Lesnar doesn't need it. Cena's going to beat Brock. Brock is going to go away, and everything is all good in the world. But no, Lesnar beats Cena, and he's having all these encounters with Paul Heyman, and the announcers are like, what's next for Brock Lesnar? And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? What? Help me.
Look, all I know is that if this is one of the, I think like Triple H is mistaking surprises with very quick, cheap pops, because the only reason that fucking Paul Heyman was there was just to interrupt so he could announce Brock into the arena, so it would feel like this classic nostalgic thing, pop the fans who gave a shit. But he was gone right after that. He wasn't even there for the match. Didn't manage him for shit. He was just like, nope, quick stop in, pop the crowd, leave. And it's just like, okay. Then you get what proceeds to be a 9-minute disappointment. This match went like 9 minutes. And it was like if I set finishers to unlimited in WWE 2K25 and then someone got the better of me. It was suplex city, suplex city, suplex city, 3 AAs, and then like 6 or 7 or whatever F5s over. I'm like, dude, if you had gone to the bathroom just to take a quick piss, went to refill your drink, your wife had a question real quick, you came back and you thought, oh, all I'm going to do is miss the entrances. You missed half the match because that shit was quick out the gate and it was gone just as fast. And it was a massive disappointment. But I also predicted Brock would win because I straight up said they're probably going to write John off TV to skip October because he's only got like 4 dates or 5 dates, whatever they say. They keep changing their minds. Today they said it was 5. You guys just keep like adding one date like people won't fucking notice. That was 5.
That was 5, yeah.
He's got 4 left.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, it's like they keep adding in phantom numbers here. I'm like, I'm not crazy. I swear to God, it's somewhere between like date like 17 and 14. We did like 3 dates and they counted it as like 1 or 2.
We've been keeping track.
Remember when it felt like they skipped like 2 and then counted as 1? We're like, wait. Shouldn't he be at like 15? They're like, no, he's only got 14 dates left. Bullshit. Like, and they're like, no, he's got 16 left. I'm like, no. He was on SmackDown, then a PLE. That's 2 appearances.
Yeah.
It's fucking confusing. So, but I had predicted Brock would win to write Cena off for at least October. And I said he was going to maul Cena and crush him to the point where they would have to write him off. So he could come back and then he's got 4 dates left. And like I said, this is either going to be 1 build, 1 match, a second build, and a second match. So he either has 2 opponents left with 1 promo build apiece, or he's going to have a rematch with Lesnar, which will be 1 date, 1 rematch, and then he's because some people are saying this sets up a rematch. No, do not waste these dates on Lesnar anymore, please. If this match was in it, like honestly, like Triple H, listen to the IWC, listen to the fan backlash for once in your fucking life. No one liked this. We don't want you wasting any of his 4 dates left on this. Give him LA Knight or give him AJ or give him both. 2 promo builds apiece, 2 matches, the last one being December 13th at Saturday night's main event. Just please leave Lesnar out of this shit. Kick his ass out for the rest of the year.
For those of you who didn't watch this match, let me summarize the entire thing and recap it. Suplex. 3 fucking F5s in a row. 2 attitude adjustments after that. And then another 4 to end this off. That is how bad this match was and how quick it was. It was finisher city. That is what this was. I'm like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be the match to start this damn show off? Why? Why is this the match to start this off? Makes no damn sense whatsoever. You put this out as this is going to be a massive match, one of the best matches of the night, all of that, and all you did was finisher after finisher after finisher. That is why when Snug and I did our star ratings yesterday, what I ended up doing was rating this one the lowest because it was finisher after finisher after finisher. That's literally all this match was.
Easiest paycheck Cena made on this retirement tour so far in a match, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I just got to go out there and sell for 9 minutes. Sign it off.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit more to this whole thing with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar too, because at the post show, when they were interviewing Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman showed up and he was like, "We should actually talk about Brock Lesnar. Like, Paul Heyman was stealing that moment from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to be like, let's talk about Brock Lesnar. And Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were looking at each other like, wait, what? This interview is about us. Why are we going to talk about Brock Lesnar? So they're starting to plant some seeds there too, I think, which I don't know.
Well, let's not forget one of Seth's biggest rivalries and mountains to climb when he was at the peak, the height of his babyface run before the people got sick and tired of him and turned on him after the Fiend debacle was Brock Lesnar. Remember, he got the Kingslayer gimmick when he was fighting Brock Lesnar. The burn it down gimmick came when he was fighting Brock Lesnar. So if Heyman is doing shit with Brock Lesnar, maybe that sows some issues with him and Seth. Maybe we start seeing some cracks here leading into War Games. Maybe it turns into Heyman turning on them to go back to Brock because maybe they know that no one's going to give a fuck about Brock. And if he's back doing, fucking feuds, he can't cut a promo for shit and they're going to need his mouthpiece again. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's an extremely lazy way to make Brock matter again.
You bring up War Games and it gave me an idea. What if this entire thing leads to Brock going to Heyman and just go, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you. If you want this entire team to go into War Games, I'll be that final man for a price. Like, that's what I think this is going to end up going to. Is Brock joining them for one night just for a War Games match with the Vision?
One thing is for sure, Brock Lesnar is not going away anytime soon. I think that's safe to say. All right, y'all, let's move on to the next match. The tag team match between Jey Uso versus the Brusos. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. LA Knight got added as a special guest referee in the pre-show, very last minute, unexpected. And I thought that was just a grand idea. It just made this match a little bit more interesting with everything that's been happening with LA Knight and Jey Uso. I was really interested to see how this whole thing was going to play out. And it turned out to be some type of hardcore match or something. I don't think that was announced. LA Knight just said, fuck it. Do whatever you guys want. I'll allow it. And they beat the fuck out of each other. But we got this one correct as well. We predicted Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to win it because they need to win the important matches. Most fans remember when these wrestlers win at PLEs or pay-per-views. Yes, they get wins on Monday Night Raw, but the ones that matter, the ones that get remembered the most by fans are at these PLEs. That happened versus what Tommy likes to call the best tag team in all of WWE history versus the Usos. What did you guys think about this one?
Again, I don't think they're the best tag team in all of WWE history. They are the most successful because they are the longest reigning in all time across the board at any point in the company's history. However, when it comes down to it, yes, we got this match right. Yes, it was the right call. The right two men won. You are correct. As we stated, they need to win the important matches. I was the one with the biggest fucking craw or stick in my craw at SummerSlam because they lost to Roman and Jey. And I thought that win would have done insane wonders for their credibility, because even if they lose like a match here or there on Raw, they can still say we beat Roman and Jey together. And they didn't do that. Then, we've had this back and forth for fucking eons now in some variation or combination of any kind every Monday Night Raw for months. Finally, these guys get a win that really, really, really matters. They can now say they beat the Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. That is a claim they can now stake. So that's important. It's also important to note that it means that, hey, it shows in the story that the Usos are divided. They're maybe not 100% on the same page. Maybe because of the shit with LA Knight and the shit with Roman not being here and Jay's, unsureness and Jimmy's resistance to Jey trying to control every situation. It paints a lot of different corners in this story, which is good. And again, the right people won. I will say, terrifying point in the match where Jay went to hit, I believe, Braun Breaker with the steel chair. It bounced back up and it cracked him straight in the forehead. And it looked like he got concussed, which was very scary for the remainder of that match. And footage after the match showed him having a towel holding, his head closed while Jimmy tried to help him roll out of the ring. So best wishes to Jay. Hope it's not too serious. Hope it's just maybe a stitch or two. But you hate to see it happen. But again, it comes down to this show being touted as all these surprises. Throwing shit in last minute isn't so much as a surprise as you going, well, if we need to pop the crowd, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll do this. We'll have Heyman go out and announce. Oh, we'll do a surprise announcement for Stephanie's induction. Oh, well, we'll just throw LA Knight in there last minute as a special guest referee. Stuff that could have served the story, by the way. Having them try to be on the same page as LA, but then him having problems with Jay. Maybe you don't know if LA is going to be, a ref that's unbiased. That could have fed the story had you told that story during the story and not just thrown it in last minute on the fucking night. This is what I'm talking about. This is why fans had a problem with the show. It just felt like hot shot booking everywhere. Let's just do shit for the sake of doing shit. And I got to tell you, I've been a fan a long time. That shit doesn't work on me anymore. Tommy, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. My mom called me out of nowhere. So, yeah, this match, I look at it, I'm like, it's the Usos. This is supposed to be good. It was not. This was one of the matches I was looking forward to. Because as much as I loved them going their separate ways, and I completely agreed that after this, they should go right back to doing their own thing. Because Jay's doing really well doing his own thing. So is Jimmy. But I look at this, I'm like, they're great tag team. They're awesome. They're the fucking Usos. The Uso Penitentiary is open. Unfortunately, Braun shut the Uso Penitentiary down. Welcome to that. And by the way, that is an exact quote from Bronson Reed during the post show. He flat out said that they shut the Uso Penitentiary down. Honestly, that's not surprising at all. But this whole thing, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why this was second lowest for me yesterday. I love the Usos. Braun is a thing. It was not very good. And I hate to say that because it's the Usos. But it just wasn't good for me. I did not like this match. Like, at all.
Yeah, I didn't hate it as much as you guys. And the update that I last read from Jey Uso, he's all right. He was on some.
I didn't hate it, by the way.
Yeah, but most fans did, like Tommy. I've been hearing mostly just negative feedback from everyone about this whole entire thing. But yeah, Jey Uso was on concussion protocol after the match. And then he put out an Instagram story. Jey Uso put out Instagram story saying he's okay. So hopefully we see Jey Uso back on Raw tomorrow. We're recording Sunday evening, so I don't think they'll have him wrestle that quick, especially after that scary incident. But hopefully, I'm hoping we can at least hear from Jey Uso, hear him cut a promo or something. And I think this is going to be a one-off for the Usos. I think they're going to go back to their singles thing.
I do think the story continues with them. They may not tag again, but I don't think Jimmy's out of this story until War Games is over.
Yeah, that makes sense. The other interesting too about this match is I think this lights a little bit more fuel to the feud with LA Knight because Jey Uso was the one that got pinned and LA Knight was the referee that did the counting. So I think Jey Uso might bring that back. Like, I lost because of you and your shitty referee skills or something crazy like that. I don't know. But any closing thoughts about this tag team match before we move on?
No, it might be. It's probably one of the few good decisions they made in the evening of all of last night. Of having the right people win. This was one of the few correct. I will say that for the majority of the show, though most of the booking was lackluster, no story, no build for most of this bullshit, they spent at least the majority of the night making the right calls on who needed to go over. That is a plus from this show. So I will give them that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I like this PLE more than most fans did, because of that specific reason. And we're going to talk about that again here with Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. Stephanie Vaquer won. She's a new WWE Women's World Champion. Well deserved. She's been built up marvelously. Stephanie Vaquer has. But unlike you, Mr. Blood, I believe you mentioned this was match of the night for you. It was not for me. And not because there was anything wrong with the match. I mean, these two are great wrestlers, in ring performers, but it's a babyface versus a babyface. To me, I need a heel in the match trying to do some dirty shit, trying to cheat, trying to get outsmart the babyface in order to make things a little bit more interesting for me. That's just my personal taste. But this match was full of great moments, great spots. Again, two of the most crisp fucking wrestlers in that women's division. The match was fine, but I just felt like I just missed that element for me to really be invested in this match and enjoy it.
I will say that I do think that the mixed tag match is the match of the night. What I meant by saying it was the best match of the night is as in it was the best in-ring worked. As in it was the most, I mean, they wrestled technical style for over 20 minutes. And what's the one thing Mr. Blood loves, people? Technical
Ice cream.
wrestling.
Oh.
That too. But and I'm more of a cake guy, but technical wrestling. I am a connoisseur of technical wrestling. I love and live and breathe that shit. And these girls, man, they gave me a Tour de France, a fucking buffet of technical style last night. I will say this. The best thing about this match is that they told a great story with Io's knees. Telling the story after that dragon screw, it was all about Stephanie making sure that if she injured the legs, Io could not get up for the over the moonsault. And even when Io went for like a double meteora, she freaking went and took both knee guards down, made a fucking mistake, ran, fucked her knees up worse. That's what really cost her the match. She figured she could time it. She didn't. It was off. Stephanie played her like a fiddle, and it worked. Stephanie knew that the genius of the sky, you can only get to the sky if you've got legs to take you there. And Stephanie really, really utilized that to her advantage in the match, and I love the storytelling. The thing about me that really pissed me off about this match is the fucking crowd for this match. This match should have gotten way more love while it was going on. It deserved way more while it was happening. But I will tell you what, right call. Building new stars is what WWE should be doing, because we've said this ad nauseum. A lot of their divisions, women's and men's, the main eventers are filled with people in their late 30s, early to mid fucking 40s. AJ Styles pushing fucking 50. R-Truth in his 50s. So it's one of the things where it's like you have to start making new stars now, because like I've said before, in the next 2-3 years, majority of the main event scene you see right here, right now, will not fucking be here in the next 3 or so years. They just won't. AJ's already said last contract. Roman's not signing another fucking 3 to 4 year deal after this, unless it's a full part-timer basis. You got to think Seth might stick around a little longer, maybe Becky, but their daughter Rue is going to be in school here pretty fucking shortly. Someone's going to need to be home. Punk, he already spoke earlier this week in an interview that he's going to wrestle till the wheels fall off, but he's already said, he knows that when he came back, this was going to be his last stretch. AJ's only on a 3-year deal. Again, the stars will not be here. Building new stars is important. It's an intelligent maneuver. Making that move here with Stephanie Vaquer, making that move with Tiffany Stratton, those are intelligent ideas, young champions who can carry the company. And in 10 years, they will be the veterans that might be stepping down. So when it comes to Stephanie, she's deserved it. She's earned it. This was the right call. Now let's watch the fans turn on her because we know they will.
Yeah, fuck.
Unfortunately, we know they will. It's just how the IWC is. We can never be consistent, apparently. But I said this during the predictions, and I full-heartedly believe this. I have a feeling like the entire original plan was for Stephanie Vaquera to still get the women's world title, but take it off of Naomi. I have a feeling like that was the original plan, which is why she won that battle royal and was guaranteed a title shot and all of that. I think that during that title shot is when she would have taken that title off of Naomi. That's just my thoughts there on that. But this match, it absolutely deserved so much more love than what it was given. These fans weren't even fans, it seemed like at all. It sucked. The crowd itself brought this down, which sucks to say, because it's Stephanie Vaquera and Io Sky, two of the biggest women in the WWE women's roster. It's Stephanie Vaquera, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Those are the big three, really. So I look at that and I'm like, why? Okay, yes, Charlotte Flair's there too. She's up there, but she's not the big three right now. But still, this match deserved so much more than what it was given. But Stephanie Vaquera absolutely deserved this. This is only going to put a rocket on her for so long.
And I'd like to state here as well, just to finish Tommy's thought, because I think we're all here in a collective unison. A crowd, whether you understand it or don't, when it comes to wrestling psychology, is one of the most important contributing factors to the success of a show. The energy when you're in a ring, you feed off the crowd. You legitimately get that adrenaline burst, that extra win, because you feel cheered and loved or hated, and you're getting that energy, that reaction. The whole point of professional wrestling, it is a reaction business, a reactionary business. It's storytelling. Storytelling means nothing if you don't know how your readers or your audience feel about it. So a crowd really does make or break a show. If you went to a WrestleMania and they were quiet as hell, fucks up WrestleMania, doesn't it? Case in point, WrestleMania 40, when they went to Philadelphia, night one, it was like 20 degrees outside and they were freezing in an open air stadium. Night one, the crowd sucked. Everybody agreed on that, WrestleMania 40, because they were cold as fuck. Night two was much warmer, much better crowd. It makes or breaks a show. The crowd here was not consistent at all throughout the night, and you could feel that. And even when you're at home watching on TV, it's different when you're in an arena and all you hear is noise. When you're in an arena and you hear the noise, obviously it feels loud because you're in the fucking building. When you're at home watching on TV and you're hearing the microphones throughout the stadium, you're hearing the audience through all the editing, you're going, man, fuck, man, they must not be having fun. Because it comes across different, and it can be a huge contributor to your enjoyment at home when you're viewing. And keep in mind, the majority of people watching PLEs are at home, because there isn't fucking 3 million people in a goddamn stadium anywhere on the planet. So I think the audience here, it might be a massive contributor to why this show didn't feel as important as it did. It's not their fault, but if I'm paying $3,000 a seat, I will scream until I can't talk for 4 days.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of having fun, I had a shit ton of fun for this next mixed tag team match. They got me. I was a fucking hater of this when they first started building it.
I've been
look, I'm gonna take it a step further. I've been a huge Becky Lynch hater. All right, Seth Rollins, he can be a little bit annoying sometimes, but I can still stand Seth Rollins a little bit more than Becky Lynch. But after this, okay, I take back all the bad and evil things I said about these two. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins were so good in this match last night for so many reasons. The main reason why I enjoyed this so much is they made AJ Lee look so good in her first match back after like 10 years or something crazy like that. Half of the AJ Lee put in the work, but half of that credit has to go to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, but this was so entertaining on so many levels. And even, you know, I was even wrong about the whole, oh, they're not going to get, the men and the women aren't going to get physical in this match with each other. And they did, but they didn't fucking, like CM Punk didn't GTS Becky Lynch. Like they didn't punch the women. You know, they still, I mean, they had a sharpshooter. I think Punk had Becky Lynch in the sharpshooter. So they still had that moment in that mixed tag team match, but they didn't fucking like pile drive them through a table, which is
and
fucking
AJ
ridiculous.
did put her Black Widow on Seth.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, first off, this is match of the night. This was the most fun match of the entire evening. It was nothing short of just enjoyable. I don't really think anybody can. There was a couple hiccups here and there, you know, to be expected. 10 and a half years. You know, there's a little bit of ring rust. You can only prepare so much, but when you're in front of an audience, you get the jitters, things happen. But case in point, AJ looked phenomenal last night. Like she didn't miss a step. And yes, that is in a lot of large part due to Becky and Seth making sure that they were being so giving and being protecting of her. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt your opponent. This is supposed to be a thing that you love to do. It's your job to entertain, but you're also trying to have fun while you're in the ring. And they all looked like they were having a ball. Because you got to think about it. I've worked many jobs in my life, specifically with my wife at those jobs, whether it was we were traveling salespeople, we are 1099 contractors now. We still work together now every single day. You know, I love working with my wife. I prefer it as to not working with her. Some people don't want to be anywhere near their spouse when they're at work. But let me tell you this. When you are married to someone who loves something in their bones as much as you do, and you get to do that thing with them, it only makes that thing better because now you're not just enjoying your job, you're bonding. Then you go out there and all you do is have four people who genuinely love wrestling and have loved wrestling their entire lives, wrestling together, but they're getting to do it with their individual best friends, which are their spouses. That's only going to make everything better. I hope that those guys are really proud of what they did last night, because not only could AJ's return match gone horribly wrong, it could have been booked horribly wrong and performed horribly wrong, but it was fun all the way through. I will say again, this comes back to the crowd kind of messing some shit up a bit, but this one I won't blame on the crowd because they were not sure how to handle the men attacking the women. They did not really come that much alive when CM Punk put the sharpshooter on Becky. They seemed confused. Like, should we be cheering for a man beating up a woman? Or, you know, like, but then they were like, oh no, he's not hitting her, right? He's just holding her, you know. But they're not used to seeing it as often. They sure shit, clearly none of the motherfuckers were watching during the Attitude Era where Kane was choke slamming every diva on the roster and they were pile driving freaking Mae Young. But as far as it's concerned, this was absolutely everything I needed it to be, everything I wanted it to be. AJ was phenomenal. CM Punk was phenomenal. Becky and AJ were phenomenal. And I think they did a great job. It's hard for me to watch these people have this much chemistry and believe that they actually are not friends behind the scenes. I mean, I know that kayfabe like Punk and Seth will go at nauseum and say, hey, we're not actually friends, you know, but we can work together like they did in the interview last week. He said, look, we're professionals. We don't have to, you know, get along, go out to dinner. I think they've been feuding so long. I find it hard to believe that they haven't buried the hatchet behind the scenes and they're just keeping up kayfabe because their chemistry is so good. Every match they've had together has been amazing. And now their wives are involved. And I know their wives don't hate each other. So I just think that, again, it's like it should have main evented, which is why this review and the show ends on a fucking sour note.
So this I did absolutely love. Match of the night, guaranteed. I find it interesting that the both of you bring up the whole men going on the women, women going on the men thing without bringing up closer to the end of this match with AJ Lee over here stomping Seth Rollins, which she ended up kind of slipping on his head a little bit, as I could tell. But still, that was absolutely awesome. We love to see that. The one thing I disliked is how it ended. It was a great match through and through. I just wish it actually ended in pinfall compared to the submission that we got.
The reason that submission's important is that this is the first time Becky has tapped out since 2019. That's why it's important. Becky has not tapped in 6.5 years. That perfectly gives AJ credence to go after that Women's Intercontinental Championship. That's why that finish was that way.
That explains it. All right. Thank you for describing it a little bit more. But awesome. CM Punk and AJ Lee looked great. Seth and Becky is over here looking like Mr. and Mrs. Ivan Ooze because that's all Seth is good for.
I thought they came out looking like SpongeBob in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie when he was singing the Goofy Goober song.
Yeah, I see that too. But this whole thing, I absolutely loved it, and I completely agree. Complete match of the night for damn sure.
All right, should we talk about the Stephanie McMahon announcement, how she's being inducted in the Hall of Fame? Or, I mean, we can all agree that she deserves it, right?
Yeah, I'd say very quickly, let's just call it like it is. She's earned it. She's been working in that company in some kind of capacity since she was like 16 years old.
Agree or disagree, Tommy?
Completely agree. You say that, oh, Vince didn't make her do anything. But let's be honest. She did not hear the words, hey, you're going to be crucified on Undertaker's logo. And her immediate response is, oh, cool, awesome, let's do it. Like, there had to be some pushback with that. But I completely agree. She absolutely deserves it.
I've said it before. I truly do believe that she is the least problematic McMahon. Like, she is the one person I genuinely believe, like, Vince cares. I don't think anybody cared to the capacity that she did, to where she's basically universally beloved by everybody backstage, the workers, the talent. I mean, if you watch her podcast, they feel so disarmed with her. They are so comfortable with her. And you can see how much she cares. She knows about their lives, their children, their personal their issues. And I'm like, she genuinely does seem like a very good human being. So I think that this is well overdue. She should have gone in a minute ago. I'm still mad. Again, Nikki Bella goes in the Hall of Fame before Stephanie fucking McMahon.
I do like the placement as well, how they're doing it in 2026, because of the fact that I'm going to slightly remind you that 30 years ago in 1996, good old her grandfather, Vincent J. McMahon, was also put in exactly 30 years ago from when Stephanie's going in.
Yeah. At first I couldn't help but think, oh, you know, it's Triple H's wife, it's Vince McMahon's daughter. But then after not even like 10 seconds of thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute. This girl has been in so many memorable storylines that have made the WWE what it is today. And she's been, you know, on TV for fucking so many years. I mean, think of the storyline she's been involved with. Every fucking wrestler you can think of, Stephanie McMahon has worked with them.
And she's game. She's also one of those people that's almost game for anything. She'll take spears. She'll get put through tables. She'll get put in arm bars. She'll get tombstone. She'll get RKO'd, DDT'd, smacked, punched, knocked over, finishered. Like, I mean, legit. Let's not forget, she actually had a really great fucking match with the Bellas years ago, for Christ's sake. Like, you know, people underestimate Stephanie, but she's also, I don't think this is a hot take. I'm going to say it. She's one of the greatest heels of her generation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
She is she is a natural heel for someone who is genuinely such a fucking sweetheart. So, like, I mean, flowers. The only thing I have to say about this induction,
for
Stephanie
real.
McMahon, do not do an hour and 5-minute long speech like Paul did this year, because Shawn Michaels will probably have to be in NXT in the morning, and he can't be up till 3 a.m.
I would actually like to see a really long speech by Stephanie McMahon. She probably has some crazy ass stories that we've never heard of
want
before.
that long though.
I loved Triple H's entire speech and story, but fuck, man, I was like, he said, "Don't worry, I'm wrapping up here," 3 times, and it was still like 25 extra minutes to go. I'm like,
yeah.
Shawn, he even goes, Shawn's probably pissed at me. He's got to be up at NXT at 4 a.m. in like 3 hours, and he hasn't even gone to sleep yet. I'm like, I literally posted a funny video of me pretending to be Shawn Michaels with the audio from Triple H's speech earlier this year, where I was pretending to be Shawn Michaels asleep on some crates in the back, like,
Yeah.
So yeah, my biggest thing is Stephanie, please do not do what happened during this year's, where about half of the damn roster, when the camera went across them, were putting heads down, passed out, and all of that.
I felt bad for all the kids, man. People had their kids with them. Like, I'm like, oh great, now all these people got to carry their children back to their hotels. Like, I will say this: it makes me wonder something before we move on to this clusterfuck of a main event. I wonder if they plan on allowing Vince to attend.
Oh fuck. You know what? I was thinking, who's going to actually induct her?
Probably Triple H.
I was about to say, odds are Triple H, because
or I would say either
Undertaker did the same thing with his wife as well, where he inducted her. So odds are it's going to be Triple H.
I would say Triple H, or probably one of the Bellas, because she had a long rivalry with them for a while. But my question is this: is there a chance they do a surprise inductee and it is Vince McMahon? Or a surprise inductor, and it is Vince McMahon?
I don't think Vince McMahon ever wanted to be in the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean, he's the surprise person that inducted his daughter.
Oh, shit.
Could you imagine?
Well, you know what?
If
that opening video package that they played at
Vince McMahon in the footage, even though they've done everything to go out of their way to avoid showing him. Oh, no. Can you imagine the shit he might say if he went off script live on air? Oh, you guys missed me. Oh, fuck.
I'm back, bitches.
Did you miss me? I'm back. Welcome. I'm here.
This always was a family company. Yeah.
Damn. All right, let's move on, you guys. The main event was Cody Rhodes, undisputed champion, versus the challenger, Drew McIntyre. And I like both of these guys, especially Cody. I'm a huge Cody crybaby. But to me, I couldn't help but shake the feeling that, we're just going to throw these two guys in the main event just for their star power, just to be like, okay, we're going to stack up this card with a bunch of star-studded names only because it's ESPN for the very first time, and that is it. It doesn't matter if this is Cody Rhodes' first title defense since he won it back from John Cena. It doesn't matter if no one believes Drew McIntyre is going to win it, because let's be real, no one did. And Cody Rhodes won, and nothing else happened after that, unfortunately. Thoughts on this match, on this here main event, fellas?
This match is the perfect and prime example, along with the opener, that not only is it great to start people off strong, which they didn't, it's also about how you leave them, which was deflated, because everybody was waiting on a Roman or a final boss or Drew's surprise shock win or a Randy Orton appearance or a heel turn. And all we got was a straight one-on-one match where for the fucking 13th time, Drew McIntyre loses again. Not because it was his fault, because somebody screwed him. And it was the ref who 2 different times fucked his pins up. So it's like now he's going to say again, I didn't lose to you, Cody. I was screwed again and again and again. And he's going to just keep strumming that fucking tired old banjo and never change the strings. And I'm just like, oh my God, this main event is exactly why people felt like they not only rushed this entire show, but it feels like, you know what really feels like a money grab? It's harder for people to feel like something is a money grab when they genuinely feel like you tried your hardest to give them everything you could. What does feel like a money grab is when you go, here, take it. One-on-one, clean pin, no build, done, let's go home. And that's what this main event was. And that's why people are fucking furious about this, because you charge these people $3,000 a seat or higher, okay? And you gave them a 9-minute opener, a somewhat fine tag match that we've already seen on free TV and Netflix half 24 times in some form or fashion or another. You gave them a great one-on-one women's title match, but it was 2 baby faces and the crowd didn't know who to root for. And then you gave them the only top tier, I'd go as far as say, just for the type of match it was, 5-star sports entertainment match, period, in the mixed tag, which should have main evented because it had the most story built in across any match on this card aside from the tag team match earlier with the Bronze and the Usos, because those are technically the same story. Okay. And this, because let's not forget, guys, Seth is their leader. This is still CM Punk and his wife versus The Vision. And it was the Usos versus The Vision. Same story. It should have main evented. You would have sent the crowd home happy, excited, elated, crazy. You realize this was that mixed tag was the longest match of the night. It was literally half an hour plus. You could have had Cody and Drew before this and then sent the fans home excited as all hell. This match was 30 minutes long. It should have closed the show out on a high note. Instead, you sent fans home happy with another Cody holds a title. And I am a Cody crybaby. I love Cody. How am I supposed to care about Cody's stories if there's no build and Cody's not even there to tell the story?
This build is simple. Drew attacks Cody. Cody's out for 5 weeks. Cody comes back. See you in a week. That's what this build was. After the whole trailer thing yesterday, after the 24 hours of me thinking about this, I regret the 5-star rating I gave to this. Because it truly does not deserve it anymore. Like, I love Cody. I'm a Cody crybaby. I have a toy SmackDown tag team title completely signed by him from like a year ago. I am a Cody crybaby all the way. This man is on my Mount Rushmore. That is how much of a Cody crybaby I am. This match, after thinking about it, I am now putting down to like a 3.5. After thinking about it. Because I feel like when I did the rating before, all that was running through me was, hell yeah, Cody won. That's it. So the rating has since gone down. But the only thing that we really got out of this is, hey, you know what's here in like less than a month? Crown Jewel. Here's our match. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel ring. That is what we got out of this. And that is exactly what we got during the post show as well. Cody was trying to have his little interview thing. All of a sudden, burn it down. Seth comes out, interrupts it. We get a face-to-face with both of them holding up those titles. That's practically all we got out of this. And it's completely unfortunate to say, because like I said, I'm a Cody crybaby all the way. I love Cody, fucking dearest. So this match, after 24 hours of thinking about it, has now lowered this whole thing for me.
I'm going to read you guys something real quick here. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena was 8 minutes and 50 seconds. The Vision versus the Bronze, 17 minutes, 12 seconds. Stephanie versus Io, 20 minutes, 11 seconds. CM Punk, AJ versus Seth and Becky, 29 minutes, 18 seconds. Cody Rhodes versus Drew, 17 minutes and 17 seconds. The main event was the third shortest match on the card and only shorter than the Bronze versus the Usos by 5 seconds. And it was a fucking title match main event for the biggest star in their company. They rushed this. There was no need for this. We could have gotten Brock and John out of the way in Paris, as we should have. Hell, we could have done Cody versus Logan here, and it would have been great. But I look at these match times, and all I think is they really just didn't care. I mean, you put all these numbers together, this is barely just over an hour and 45 minutes of wrestling on a 3-hour show.
Speaking of match times, you guys are going to love this. WWE Crown Jewel 2025, October 11th. So the event is going to be starting at 7 p.m. in Australian time, the time in Australia, which translates to 7 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. Pacific time. Fuck.
Yeah. And that was the same thing for the Elimination Chamber as well when they were in Perth.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Dude, when Tommy mentioned Crown Jewel, I was like, fuck, they're going to be in Australia. Hold on, man. What the fuck does this mean for us, bro? Fucking 4 a.m.
So they expect their largest market audience, the United States of America, North America specifically. They expect us on a Saturday fucking morning
to stay up all damn night.
No, not night, Tommy. They expect you to be up my time at 7 and watch it for almost 3 to 3.5 hours to start your Saturday. This is corporate America. The majority of people who work and live and have a job work Saturday fucking mornings. Not every company gives their employees weekends off. So what the fuck is this? 7 a.m. and you 4 a.m. on your coast. For those you don't know, Snug's in Cali. I'm in fucking Florida. And Tommy, you're in what, North Carolina? Or Texas? Illinois? How do I always forget you're fucking Illinois? And
no, I'm in Illinois. Toxic is in Texas.
That's why. And you got to think about this. That means it's going to be 6 fucking p.m. your time, Tommy, or 6 a.m. That means your ass will have to be up at like 5:30. I'm not watching it live. I'm telling you now. My ass is going to have to watch the fucking replay, I guess. If the replay is even fucking available, if the ESPN direct consumer app even allows replayability, because I'm not going to be up at 7 because I don't go to bed till 3 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
That's bull. I go to first off, I work in the morning, but I also go to the gym in the mornings too. I'm not spending my entire Saturday fucking morning in front of my TV watching wrestling.
And
there's a reason why when they did the Elimination Chamber in Perth, I did not watch it live. I full on slept all night and then watched it when I woke up because I was not doing that.
Yeah, and it sucks because I feel like I probably should watch it live because of our clips have been doing so fucking great on our social medias. It's been doing wonders. So do I really want to miss out on that? That's money, you guys, that we could be losing out on.
Yeah, I mean, but look, my brother, you want to be up for the clips so we can do that? More power to you. I'll be up at 11 a.m. like I am every day.
Yeah.
because I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning because all I do is make content all night. And then me and my wife will watch that shit at like 5 o'clock, 6 that evening when we're done with our other businesses. Other than that,
it's going to be an interesting conversation.
7 in the fucking morning. Like that is ridiculous because you're going to have to either stay up or get up early. And that's hoping to God your wife doesn't care that you're up in your office at 4 o'clock in the morning watching wrestling.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Here's the thing, folks. When you're married, you don't always get to do whatever the fuck you want. You have someone to answer to who's going to wonder, why is there so much noise in the next room? It's 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then 2, bro, then you're going to have to finish the show like at 7 o'clock my time. Your ass going to have to go back to bed, which I'm sure your wife is really going to love. Oh, you're back to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. We got this, and this to do. Oh, fuck. That's right. I have responsibilities. I guess I'm not getting back to sleep.
But what's going to happen with Friday Night SmackDown then? Like, they're going to fucking...
It'll be pre-taped. It'll be pre-taped.
I was about to say, they're probably just going to pre-record it. And
it was pre-taped the last time they did it too. They taped it on like a Wednesday or something before they flew over. And then they played it at like normal time here. So
they'll probably do a double tape in the week before, which means that
no, it was taped. It was just taped like 3 days prior to their event last time they were in Perth. They just taped it the same week. They taped it the same week because it's the people who set up the show that have to fly over a week in advance. The talent don't have to leave until like Wednesday just to tour the city to be there on Thursday.
Dude, they did a Friday Night SmackDown double taping. That's usually how they do it. And then we had all these spoilers that were coming out. Remember? Yeah, but we even complain about that. Because that's usually how they do it.
But it wasn't. They didn't double tape on that Friday. They had taped after Monday Night Raw. They because remember we had live footage of, hey, this is what, if you ever wonder what it looks like when they switch the shows, and then it switched all the Raw branding straight to the SmackDown branding. So they had taped literally right after Raw went off the air.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah. Oh my God, dude.
And that's a decision we got to talk about, make up here in the next like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fucking A, bro.
Because like if they're gonna air SmackDown at the same time, the day before Crown Jewel, then if we do the review, I'm usually done like with the recording and editing by like 11 p.m. once I make all the clips and everything, which means that I would have to be up fucking 5 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you ain't drinking
there, but
I guess you ain't drinking, or you're gonna have a lot of coffee in your system.
Yeah, dude.
And then the moment your ass lays down with this, because I don't know about you, I can't sleep when the sun's up. I don't take naps because I can't do it.
No, I can't.
But like the moment you try to lay down and be like, I'm so tired. As soon as your head hits that pillow, hey baby, come on, we gotta go to the store.
Yeah, dude. It is gonna be a long fucking weekend, fellas. Jesus Christ, but
children, if you want to maintain your independence, don't get married.
Take us home, blood. Get us out of here.
Watching us. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Thanks for kicking it with us. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Don't forget, we're live every Monday and Friday night after Raw and SmackDown go off the air on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook for live post-show reviews, and as a bonus for reaction content during the weekly WWE broadcast on all of our social media accounts. Then hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and that leader of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, that handsome Mexican over there, do our weekly one-on-ones where we do dive-ins to random wrestling topics to answer your questions live on air. So follow Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms, as well as Apple and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And for our boy Toxic, who is still following his school duties and unable to join us on the air, that was 4 letters. One word.
Yeet.